Hey, Shalom. I want to give all the praise, honor, and all the glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachahak Wadash. Double honor to the elders of Great Millstone who taught us this truth. A sincere Shalom, Labakariam, Shah Yash Allah. That's peace to the elect of the nation of Israel. These are some serious times that we in. I'm looking at this channel is J Mez at J Mez. This is the channel. This is fair use. I follow this guy, and he's an Earth Watcher, and he's checking out all the strange events that's happening around planet Earth. And you know, the Pentagon, they released these documents which are very grainy, black and white. We know that they got some special things that they don't want to release to the public, but they did release some footage of what they call UAPs. That's the new name. They took that from Britain, you know, of all these events happening around the world, and it was mainly attacking the militaries of the earth. Afghanistan was heavy on that foul. Iraq was on there. Iran was on there. You know, you had a few events over here in the West, you know, but it was still very grainy footage. So there's nothing like the footage that's actually, you know, independent, like you see now, you see here, you know, or you got other websites like Third Phase of Moon and, you know, Gina. I know they kicked her off YouTube. She was getting so much footage of the sun and the moon, you know, but these events are picking up because our Lord is close. Our Lord is real close, and people are scratching their head because, as you can see, even this one here, look at this. Look at the dimensions on it. You know, I'm gonna play it in a minute. You know, you had another one looking like a cube. I mean, we're seeing them all over the place too. The activity is really, really picking up on planet Earth, and when we see, you know, these orbs, if you get a close up, a lot of them look like this. A lot of them look triangle. A lot of them are different dimensions, like the prophet Zechariah saw. Just real quick, let me get that. This is Zechariah 5 verse 1, because Zechariah, he started describing what, you know, what he saw. This is Zechariah 5 and 1. Then I turned and lift up my eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll. So he saw a ship in the form of a flying roll. And he said, and today we will say flying saucers. So he's saying flying roll. And he said unto me, what seest thou? This is the angel speaking to him. And I answered, I see a flying roll or flying saucer. The length thereof is 20 cubits. I'm going to read this in the NLT. The angel asks, I see a flying scroll. I replied, it appears to be about 30 feet long and 15 feet wide. And I would compare that to what? A small size school bus. Then said he unto me, this is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. So when these ships start showing up in heavy manner that it is, this is a curse to you Edomites, a curse to you 2/3 of the nation of Israel, a curse to the heathen, because these ships are being sent to planet Earth to take down the current rulership. These ships always showed up, you know, thousands of years old are these ships, but especially when it was time to change rulerships. The angels are here to referee this thing, and you're being spied on, because those are not remote control ships. You know, them ships are controlled by the angels, and they use their minds, like you read in Ezekiel. Go read Ezekiel, the first chapter. and tell me what you think. And it shows you how the four angels were controlling the ship, and the ship had windows, and wherever they went, the ship went. That's why these they call them UAPs. They got the USOs and the UFOs, and they're doing maneuvers that's definitely, as they say, otherworldly, whatever that means. But we know the Rim, our Father, Yahweh and his only begotten Son, Yahweh is coming from. They're coming from the fourth dimension. And those ships, these UFOs, are from another galaxy. So it says, then he said, he unto me, this is the curse, and they're going to be a curse. They're not here to put on a performance and entertain you and then go away. No, the takeover is happening. So we know time is short when you have events like you about to see. And now the angels are walking amongst us. These ships, these UFOs don't need to land. They can remain in the clouds while the angels just beam themselves down here in disguise of humans, like they did with Lot. Like they did, Melchizedek did that when he approached Abraham after the battle. The angel was walking with Tobias. That was Tobit's son. It was Raphael, the carrier of the prayers of the saints. And we know in Hebrews it tell you about entertaining strangers, for some have entertained angels unaware. So the angels are walking in your downtown area, and they ain't always pretending to be homeless people either. There could be the new employee working at your job. The angels are really getting close to the men of the Lord, based on Daniel 12, 1 through 4. Michael was going to step up. And Michael, who is like God, he's basically the war, the king of the war division for the angels. So he represents all the angels that's going to give out the protection and the hedge to the Lord's elect. But to you other people, these UFOs, these Titans, they're going to be a curse, and they're going to remain here. It says that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth, for everyone that stilleth shall be cut off as on this side, and according to it, and everyone that sweareth shall be cut off as on that side, according to it. I will bring it forth, these ships, saith Yahweh of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief. And that's why you have all the sightings. The majority of them is here. And I heard a report yesterday, they said Jamaica is getting as much as the North. They're here. Not that Esau didn't rape, rob, and murder around the rest of the planet, but the bulk of the Israelites are here. The 12 tribes, the 1/3 and the 2/3 go down here. So you got the bulk of the prophets in Babylon. The Lord said, I should raise up prophets in Babylon. So all the action is taking place here in the whore. This is where all the bombs are coming to. So yes, you're going to have more activity when the angels show up here in Great Babylon, aka America. And it says they're going to come into this house and they're going to remain there. Of him that sweareth falsely, and that's you Edomites, by my name, and you switch the Lord's name. The Lord is Yahweh, and his son is Yahweh Shah, and it shall remain in the midst of the house. And that's why these ships are not going anywhere. They may change form on you, flip the script, but as far as them departing, no. And they can go in and out of dimensions quick. But the activity is not stopping. It's only getting more and more aggressive. And Esau got to join in now with his whole blue beam thing. He's going to have things in the air too, because he want to control the narrative. Because this is the time for him to try to control the narrative until Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai gets really aggressive with him. But Esau got things that's in the air. He got his AI technology. So he's the master of deception. So you do need to use the spirit of discernment. Go to channels that you trust. You know, some of these channels like Third Phase Moon, they use technology for CGI, and if it's AI, you know, they'll pull it down. They don't like the whole, you know, phony images of these UFOs on their site. So they do the work. They do the, you know, the digging for you. And that's good. But you can just walk out your house. If you're paying attention, look up. These ships are everywhere, man. They at the campsites. They everywhere. So it says, and it shall remain in the midst of his house, and shall consume it with the timber thereof and the stones thereof. And that's going to be the lasers. Because these ships, I'm going to play this video, but let me see something here. These ships will use them lasers real soon. Hold on. Let me text this out. That was 12:07. Let me see something. Yeah, these ships will use these lasers, man. Let me go to Wisdom of Solomon 4. All right. Let me get this here. Station of the spies, much alive. Cast them headlong. Perish, headlong, shall be speechless. And Salakia, 1 second. I just want to get this. They repenting, they wickedness. And I was just reading this earlier. Okay. This is Wisdom of Solomon 5. It wasn't 4, it was 5, verse 17. He shall take to him his jealousy for complete armor. This is talking about Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. Once he beam up the righteous, they're going to be taken up like Enoch was taken from amongst men. You know, and the Lord's elect is going to be taken up in that same manner into these ships here. Then once that happened, them ships, they got lasers. You know? They got heat that they going to bring to this place that they're going to bring to Esau. And that's what Wisdom of Solomon is describing right now. He shall take to him his jealousy for complete armor and make the creature his weapon for the vengeance of his enemies. He shall put on righteousness as a breastplate and true judgment instead of a helmet. He shall take holiness for an invincible shield. His severe wrath shall he sharpen for a sword, and the world shall fight with him against the unwise. That's starting with you Edomites. You're very unwise. You know, tell you about the judges, the wicked rulers, you know, who didn't put wisdom, you know, in their rulership. They just rule. You unwise rule off greed, rape, robbery, murder. That's why I said that ship shall remain in the house of the thief, whosoever falsely. So you're about to be paid back for all your injustice. And these UFOs are the main one, which is the father ship that Yahushua gonna show up with. Boy, this earth gonna shake. This earth gonna shake when Yahushua show up in that ship. Then shall the right aiming thunderbolts go aboard, and from the clouds, as from a well-drawn bow. Those clouds, those are the ships. Them right aiming thunderbolts, that's them lasers, man. So what's the elect is safely beamed up in them ships? The Lord gonna let loose on his place. Them ships gonna let loose. It's like I showed you in the Independence Day, when them ships showed up, everybody was amazed. Some people were scared. Some people was fascinated. Some people went to worship them. And then it was a deadline before them ships started firing and taking off. You know, and when that main ship that was over that building that had those freaks up there with them signs let loose that laser, and you saw that building explode and people run, then it got serious. Because they didn't know what them ships was up to. So this is the Lord showing the ships. Where you think they get that from? The ship's gonna show up, just as calm as ever. Then the action gonna start, the beaming up. People gonna be scared when they see the righteous, which is the Lord's elect, go up into them ships. They're gonna be wondering what the hell is going on. Then after that, they're gonna get alerts on their phone, the bombs. You got 30 minutes left. People ain't gonna know. Should I run from the bombs or should I sit here and stay at this UFO? And then them UFOs, which we know as the ships or the chariots of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, they're gonna start letting loose these thunderbolts, man. And you best believe the concentrated fire that's coming from heaven out of those ships, it's gonna be hotter than those nuclear bombs, man. But it's gonna ultimately mix together, creating this lake of fire. So it says, then shall the right aiming thunderbolts go aboard, and from the clouds, with the ships, as from a well-drawn bow. So accuracy. You know, they're not gonna just randomly be shooting, you know, the sidewalk. Them ships, you know, you think Esau got a scope. These ships got scopes. Them angels got scopes on them, man. They know exactly their targets. It says, shall they fly to the mark, and hailstones full of wrath, which is going to be these warheads, shall be cast out of a stone bow, and the waters of the sea shall rage against them, and the flood shall cruelly drown them in confusion. Oh yeah, and them bombs, along with the lasers, they're going to start these tsunamis. And it's going to be a lot of drowning. I tell you that the small islands going to be moved in Revelation. Like Jamaica, Puerto Rico, could be the DR and Haiti. You know, because look at where they're located. You know, the West Indies is pretty close to North America. So you can imagine, you know, the earth is shaking at this time. Shaking. These UFOs start shooting at once. We don't know how many the Lord going to allow to shoot. Included with those nuclear warheads. Oh, man. Oh, my God, man. That's why, you know, Ezra said, damn, who's going to save me in that day? Habakkuk said, was you mad at the trees? Everything is going to melt here. Everything is going to be consumed with these right-aiming thunderbolts and these warheads, man. You're in a very serious time. So when you see, you know, the videos and people witnessing the UFOs, you know it's almost time to get busy, man. Time is short. These people, they're going to have to deal with this. You know? It says, yea, a mighty wind shall stand up against them, and like a storm shall blow them away. Thus iniquity shall lay waste the whole earth, and ill dealing shall overthrow the thrones of the mighty. The Lord is not playing. He's about to show Esau, he's about to show the rest of the world who's the boss. Who's the boss? Everybody about to see that these ships here belong to the angels, which means they belong to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, and they about to get busy, man. We about to see something that only can be told in the scriptures. Let me just back this up to some of these eyewitnesses. I don't know if these two women are moles or not, but they seen something.
Week, somewhere in Alabama.
Okay, this is like, please don't stop. Please watch this video. This is like the third time. We're watching the and we were seeing the stuff on the news about like UFOs and stuff. We look up in the sky. They are everywhere. Are they not? They're everywhere. As we turn the corner, you can hear like a we're looking for an airplane in the sky. What is making this humming that's getting louder?
And then I'm on the porch at this point with my dog. She's still in the yard. And then it stops on the left-hand side in the woods and picks up on the right-hand side.
I said, we're not alone right now. We're being watched.
Whatever it was that they encountered in Alabama this week, they seem shocked. We're going to be taking a look at the full video, but I'm thinking, what if this is actually connected to the alien situation? So I start searching and I find out they're not the only ones.
There was literal UFOs over my house. Not just one, multiple.
Estoy por lavar los platos. Hoy me quedé hasta tarde, son las 4 de la mañana. Y después de la tormenta escuché el sonido.
Let's keep up the good vibes.
Salakia for the commercial.
That's always open.
So something we got to deal with right now. Okay.
My food gets cold every game night. Not because I
Let's
forget
just
to
let
eat,
this play
because I
out.
cannot look away from the injury report long enough.
Weeks prior, another account also reported hearing humming sounds in the middle of the night. So I start searching a little bit more and I find out multiple reports of humanoid beings all across the world.
Yeah, again, these reports too.
On May 16th, a flying humanoid figure was seen in Jordan, and around May 7th, a high mountain battalion in Colombia out in the middle of nowhere, 3:20 a.m. saw what they believed to be something similar. So what exactly is going on? Is this all just a coincidence, or is it possibly connected to the alien situation? And if so, are we seeing some sort of contact? And are we possibly being left in the dark about it? Let's try to find out. Let's begin with the basic, and that would be the most recent sightings. So about 6 days ago, this account posted a video. I'm guessing this is in Indonesia or somewhere in the Philippines. Let's take a look at this.
UFO. Pagi-pagi ada UFO.
Yeah, that looks odd.
Di atas gunung
Yeah, everywhere.
ada UFO, guys.
I normally say that this is a cloud, but it does look weird and kind of out of place. Yeah, some people are pointing out that this thing kind of seems to shapeshift. Oh wow, look at that. Someone actually sharpened the picture and it actually looks like there's a disc inside of the cloud. Wow. Now that could be just a coincidence. Let's take a look at what we have next here. And this was posted on April 6th by this account in Chile. Let's take a look at this.
Yeah, we getting ready now. Oh yeah. The forces are here. There's nothing you can do about this, E.
Yeah, this actually looks like it could be a plane flying up high in the sky. It's catching the sunset, but I could be wrong. Let's take a look at the next one. Coming in from this account, May 6th, recorded in Mexico. Let's take a look at this.
Look at this.
Yeah, it looks like a metallic square-shaped object. So whatever this thing is, it actually looks like the Boogosphere, but a little bit more square-shaped. This is the impression I get when zooming in a little bit more at this object.
Yeah, we're trying to get a good look at it, too. Look at that. Look at that. Maybe I shall see.
Also in Mexico, 2 days later, on May 8th, this account posts this.
Cada vez más perros descarados los...
Oh, I don't know if that's got any music.
That's
Salaki.
weird. Not blinking. No FAA lights, nothing. Yeah. So this is actually a good catch. That's not a plane. What's curious is that about the same time in Denmark, people were seeing the same thing. So whatever's going on, there's a lot of these things up in the sky.
It's a locket for my screen.
Also this
Gotta
month on
clean it
May
off.
8th, something similar was seen in Georgia.
You see it? Yeah, I can run over there.
Wow.
You believe it?
Holy cow.
Come get me, take me.
Thing is, if these were to be drones, I'm betting we would be seeing FAA lights. Now I don't see that. 7 days ago, this video was posted by this account to Reddit, sped up and slowed down footage of UFOs zooming by. Let's take a look at this. Oh wait, what was that? Would you look at that? Now it does look like a very fast object swooshes by. Look at that. Looking at the video to the right, it becomes pretty clear this thing is coming from behind the building. Look at that. Do you see that? Over here, it's coming from behind the building. So, yeah, that is actually a pretty good catch. Now, this is where things get pretty interesting. About 6 days ago, this account, Summer Morgan, posted a video. She was on a plane, and this is what she saw.
So you guys are just like State Farm,
So
right?
the ship's out. Yeah, man. And we're getting close.
What in the world is that? So I'm not sure what that is, but there's a similar video that was posted on May 9th by this account, and it states, "Step outside to smoke my cigarette and I run into this helicopter following a dark thing. I can't even tell you what it was. I'm from this place in Germany. That was a pretty damn creepy sighting to me." Oh wow. So I'm guessing the one on the right is the helicopter with the FAA lights, and this thing to the left is this shadowy thing.
Yeah, they're following
Look
that.
at that, it seems like it's leaving a trail of some sort, just like that video that we just saw on the airplane.
Yeah, these ships are toying with you.
What's interesting about them at the
and,
May is
and
that
now, so you get it. And we know all the scriptures on the UFOs. I'm gonna just give you it's a few, but it's about to be a fight. This is all part of the prophecies that's in the scriptures. You know, Esau's gonna put up a fight against these ships. You know, crazy, but yes, he's that consumed with his pride at this time, you know. And they were, let me see here. This is Revelation 17 and 14. These shall make war with the Lamb. So the armies, you know, starting with Esau, they're going to fight against the Lamb, which is Yahushua, who's going to show up in the biggest ship. It says, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is Lord of lords and King of kings. And they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful, which is the Lord's elect. 144, including the angels, man. But yes, they're going to put up a fight, or try to, and it's going to be quick. They're going to try to fight the Lamb, man. He's all going to go down with a bang. This is Revelations 19 and 11. Actually, let's just get right here. Let's go right to the point. Revelations 19, verse 12. His eyes were as a flame of fire, speaking about our Lord Yahushua, and on his head were many crowns, which represents rulership. And he had a name written that no man knew but he himself. And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, which represents the destruction. And his name was called the Word of God, or the Word of Yahweh. And the armies which were in heaven, which is these other ships, followed him upon white horses, which represents purity, clothed in fine linen, white and clean. And out of the mouth goeth a sharp sword, which is these lasers again, that's going to come up out of these ships, that with it he should smite the nations, and he should rule them with a rod of iron. And he treadeth the winepress of the fierceness of the wrath of the Almighty. And he had on his vesture and on his thigh a name written, King of Kings, Lord of Lords. And I saw an angel standing in the sun, and he cried with a loud voice, saying to all the fowls that fly in the midst of heaven, come and gather yourselves together unto the supper of the great power. It's symbolic to destruction, because you know what the fowls do, they eat dead bodies. So you talking about this World War III, man? How many people gonna die down there in the Middle East? How many people the Lord about to break off in Russia? How many people the Lord about to break off over there in China? How many people the Lord about to break off? How many military kings, captains, and soldiers are about to die here in Great Babylon, man? Ain't gonna be nothing left here for the birds to eat. That's symbolic of the Lord preparing the birds for a meal. So you being prepared now, all these ships showing up, and you know, all these apparitions, and the Lord said he gonna do to Egypt like he did before. So prepare to see more creepy, spooky, paranormal things floating by your window, noises coming from the sky, noises coming from under the ocean, noises coming out your backyard. You're going to start seeing more ghosts because the fourth dimension activity is picking up. So that means the demons are going to step to another level, because the demons work for Yahushua. Yahushua can use the right or the left hand. Doesn't matter. So the wicked about to start getting chased. They about to start losing their mind. The Lord going to make you see something you're not supposed to see in this realm. And that's going to make you bug out. Women going to start bugging out. That's why dreams are picking up. Who brings the dreams? The angels. So they're bringing these dreams to people, man. Ordinary people are just walking around earth. They don't know none of this. They dreaming about World War III, the mark of the beast, Jacob's trouble. Oh, these angels will be involved on a high level with Jacob's trouble, man. So yeah, this is a time of serious, serious destruction. That they may eat the flesh of kings, and the flesh of captains, and the flesh of mighty men, and the flesh of horses, and of them that sat on them, and the fleshes of all the men, both free and bond, both small and great men. In other words, these bombs gonna wipe everything clean, man. There's no hiding. There's no getting away. This is the time that we're in. And I saw the beasts and the kings of the earth and the armies gather themselves together to make war against him that sat on the horse, which is that main ship. So they're going to try to fight Yahushua. When the ship show up, the elites got it written in their plans to send out their, reverse technology, their highest level of do guns, and, just like they showed you Independence Day, they went up to fight against the UFOs. And they lost bad, man. You lose bad in the scriptures, E. Bad. So it says, and I saw the beast, which is the system, and the kings of the earth and the armies gathered themselves together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army. So the Lord is coming back with an army. You're seeing all these UFOs all across the world, but mainly here in Great Babylon. This is the army, the Lord of Sabaoth, the Lord of war. There's a military that's being set on this place, man. And they're not going to sit down with the Pentagon and the UN and hash out new deals for you Edomites to continue ruling. Your day is over. We got heavy protection. Yahweh Ratzav, I'm a part of those men. There's heavy protection down here for the Lord's chosen ones right now, man. And the beast was taken. You lose. You lose. You know who you going up against? And with him, the false prophets that wrought miracles, which goes back to the Vatican, before him, with which he deceived them that have received the mark of the beast. So everybody running around with this device in them. They running around with this chip. You're going to be dealt with. You take this chip, you got to deal with these UFOs. You got to deal with our Lord Yahushua. You're going to get taken right along with the elites. The whole New World Order system, it's all collapsing now. Y'all don't get no New World Order. You're going into slavery. And everybody that agreed to go with the system, let me put this mark in because I like my Italian cheeseburgers. I got to pay my mortgage and my car note is due. And you go ahead and take that chip, which a majority of people going to take it. Only one's not going to take it is the Lord's elect. And he going to put the spirit on his election not to take it. But once these bombs and you ain't in that ship, the Lord's elect is in that ship by the time this happens. It says, and the beast was taken, and with him the false prophets that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast, and them that worshipped his image, which is the system. These were both cast alive into a lake of fire burning with brimstone. And that's going to be this place here. Okay, so much destruction, and it looked like a lake. And the remnant was slain with the sword of him that sat upon the horse, which is the ship, which swore proceedeth out of his mouth. So it's coming out of the body of the ship. However, the Lord's going to do it. These ships about to let loose. And all the fowls were filled with their flesh, meaning just the dead bodies, and the NLT. And the vultures all gorged themselves with the dead bodies, man. We talking about some serious death that's about to take place. But when you start seeing more and more activity, we telling you what's going on, man. You ain't gonna have to keep scratching your head and trying to figure this thing out. The UFO's been around for thousands of years. It's just that Esau took it out to public to hide any identity of any force greater than him that can come and take this place over. But now everything is coming out because we at the end of a world. We at the end of an empire. Let me see if I can play a little more of this.
You have a bunch of sightings, orbs, drones, objects flying around. Little by little, these become encounters with what people are saying are humanoid beings. On May 6th, this account posted a video. Camila Loures, an influencer in Brazil, I guess, she was making a dance video and she records this in the background.
If you're thinking of going back to school,
Right.
you gotta listen to what University of Phoenix has to offer.
At University of Phoenix, your tuition rate is locked in from the day you enroll.
And they make you watch these commercials and it seems like they're getting longer
Visit
and longer.
University of Phoenix to explore your options and learn about online degrees.
Okay. Hope they ain't got no music.
Look at that.
Oh, look at this. This was in the background, I guess.
While messing with some filters, this thing is actually weird. What in the world is that? Okay, so someone actually did an artistic enhancement of it. And yeah, I'd have to agree that it kind of looks like it could be a person, but at the same time, looking at it, I don't see a face. And who the hell wears this kind of clothing at the beach? Now here I'm thinking this is just possibly a woman coming out of the sea with a white robe. Sure, I don't see a face. It actually looks pretty weird. It could be just a video glitch of some sort. The next day, on May 7th, the 9th High Mountain Battalion in Colombia posts a video of a similar being on the middle of the woods at 3:20 a.m.
Yeah, so as you can see, I'm gonna end it right there. I think the point was made. It's apparitions and everything. Things about to pick up. Your greatest nightmare, your fear of seeing ghosts. These angels are coming up out of these ships. Things about to happen. The Lord feels like terrorizing Egypt once again. And he tell you in the scriptures, he gonna do it just like he did ancient Egypt, man. Giving all the praise, all the honor, and all the glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash. Double honor to the elders, a great millstone who told us this truth. A sincere Shalom, Labakarium, Shah Yash Allah, that's peace to the elect of the nation of Israel. Time is short. Shalom.